Hello everybody, welcome to another Age of Mythology Retold video. Today we're gonna be doing a tier list for the Mythic Age minor gods of the game. So we have gods like Heus, Hera, Artemis, Thoth, Vidar, Helios, as well as Osiris and Atlas, Balder, Tyr, Hecate, Horus, and at last Hel. From all the pantheons basically, and we're gonna be rating them from the best all the way to the least great god actually. So let's start. In my opinion, on S tier, first should go somebody between Osiris and maybe Horus. No, I believe Osiris is currently the best Mythic Age minor god at the game, and I'm going to explain why. Because we get, first of all, Son of Osiris, which is a very powerful Mythic Age god power, doing divine damage, and we get Desert Wind for your Camel Riders, plus 20% hit points speed and attack damage for your Camel Riders. You have basically the fastest unit in the game by grabbing Desert Wind, and there is no unit that can actually chase down your Camel Riders if you micro properly. Next, in my opinion, is Horus, and here's why. Horus has the best infantry upgrades in the game right now, because we get, okay, you first get a tornado that you can use and kill an entire army, or an archer death ball. Tornado is the best god power to deal with that. But then you get yourself greatest of 50 for all of your spearmen to be a little bit faster and have plus 30% hit points. You get Axe of Vengeance for your Axemen to do bonus damage against buildings, as well as increasing their damage as they lose hit points. And as I've said in one of the previous videos I made, Axe of Vengeance, if you have one hit point Axeman in the battlefield with Axe of Vengeance, that unit can actually do up to 70 total damage with one hit against a hoplite, against an infantry unit, which is insane. And of course, you get some other unique tech. You can get like to counter cavalry and make your spearmen stronger, basically. So it's also one of the gods that can actually play against Osiris. That's why I'm rating Horus so high, because you get very strong infantry and you get like the best spearmen at the game that can maybe deal with the Osiris camel riders, as well as maybe Shifting Sands. If you're playing Ra or Set, you can get a Shifting Sands on top of Son of Osiris and try and get your chance on killing him. Next, out of all of the Mythic Age minor gods, in my opinion, should be Vidar. Freyr is pretty close on having the best late game at the game. For a while I thought Freyr had the best late game, but I believe it's close. It's close. Freyr against Osiris and Horus. These three gods are close. But maybe Vidar is the third best right now, because your Berserks are actually insane if you get all of those unique tech from Vidar. And it's not really that much about Inferno. Sometimes you can fail your god power. Maybe that's why he's third. Maybe that's why Vidar is third on the list. Because your opponent can actually Shifting Sands away from the Inferno god power, can split his army if he wants to, stuff like that. Yeah, and the reason I'm rating Vidar that high is not only because of the tech that he has, but it's like the combination of Freyr in general. Freyr is the only Norse god that has access to Vidar. So Freyr overall from Heroic and Classical Age, Freyr already is nearly set up for a late game. For example, I'll talk about that in the next video about the Heroic Age minor gods. Freyr has like tech from Heroic Age that actually supports him a lot at the late game, like having heal forts and town centers that give you passive food, the fact that you can repair buildings for free, your villages can repair as well, can save you your town centers basically. Things like that that add up into Vidar and making him like the third best late game minor god in the game, in my opinion. Next, I would like to move over the A tier now, which what I'm going to put now is Atlas. And it's not that much about Atlas specifically. Right now, it's about Implode. In my opinion, in my opinion, the patch team kinda broke Implode. You can no longer escape from Implode. It's gonna suck up an entire army and kill it. It's going to kill villages as well. If you cast it at the right location, it's going to damage buildings as well. Pretty tough god power to deal with. And there is really no such counter at the moment. Even if you use an underworld, you cannot really escape. That's the thing. You cannot escape from an implode. You cannot garrison units when it's casted. So I believe that makes this what makes basically Atlas such a strong Mythic Age god is implode, and maybe the Fanatics upgrades. You get a couple of upgrades for your destroyers and Fanatics when playing Atlas late game, but I believe it's mainly implode setting you up so far ahead when playing Gaia or Kronos. Right, next I'm going to put Hera. So, only Zeus has access to Hera, and the reason I'm actually putting Hera that high, I believe Hera is actually even stronger than Artemis, and here's why. It's because of Argive patronage, in my opinion. If you manage, I've played a couple of games doing that actually, and it worked out very well for me. If you manage to get around 10 fortresses, that's the limit. That's where you can no longer build fortresses. But if you can get up to 10 fortresses, you will be getting for free 10 Myrmidons every 30 or 40 seconds around there. 10 Myrmidons for free, and they train automatically. You don't even have to manually train them. It's like having units for free on auto queue, which is insanely strong for the late game, and you will realize that once all gold mines have expired in the map, that's where it starts kicking in very hard. You just have to play that right, having those fortresses located around the map and correct waypoints into the battlefield, and you will get a lot of value doing that. And after Hera, I would like to put Tyr. This might look surprising to you guys. There's Tyr. This might look surprising to you guys that I'm rating Tyr that after Hera and before Artemis. I believe Tyr is actually pretty strong because you get the best hashcards in the game, especially if you play Loki or Thor. You get Hall of Thanes using Forseti. Your hashcards go up to 5.5 speed, so they're as fast as a Heus. And on top of that, they do more damage. They're siege units as well. They do crash damage. I mean, not crash damage, but they do bonus damage against buildings. And they can have up to 76 pierce armor, which is insane. They don't die basically to arrows. And on top of that, if you get in a favor, you can maybe recast Fimbulwinter later, or your flaming weapons later. You can do some very sick stuff when playing Norse with Tyr. And I personally love Tyr, and I believe he's even stronger than Baldur. And yeah, and I believe after Tyr, we have Artemis. And the reason I'm not having Artemis in front of Tyr is because the Tyr Huskars will destroy Artemis archers. That's my point of view. The Tyr Huskars with the extra damage and the extra damage against buildings overall, they're going to counter, especially with the speed. If you play with Forseti, they're going to counter the divine damage archers pretty much. And I believe Artemis has been a little bit overrated later. I don't believe Artemis is like that strong as people think. But yeah, that's my point of view. Something I haven't mentioned yet that I should have mentioned already is Thoth. So Thoth was nearly broken at release of the game. It later received some nerfs here and there. Then people figured out how to play better against Thoth. And overall, Osiris and Horus are better options than Thoth at the moment. In my opinion, Osiris and Horus counter Thoth now. Thor has received quite a lot of nerfs, and you sacrifice your empowerment on one Migdol to play around with Valley of the Kings, which is one of the reasons you age up through Thoth now. And I'm not going to rate Thoth low. I'm not saying Thoth is weak. Thoth is not weak at all. But I think Thoth now has to be on A tier first. Later we have Implode Atlas. Like, it's kind of unfortunate that I'm rating Atlas this high, because it's only because of its god power that will probably get nerfed. And this god, once Implode is nerfed, will go up, will go down to maybe after Artemis. But this is how I believe right now. So far we've reached this point, and I believe this is how it looks like so far. And I'm going to continue with the rest of the gods. On B tier, I would like to rate on B tier Hephaestus. Yes, Hephaestus has a good economy because of Plentyvault. Plentyvault was nerfed. It costs way more favor than it used to, so it's harder to recast it. And even though I'm rating Hephaestus a little bit low, at the same time, I think he's still valuable. You can still play with Hephaestus, but you have to play like the patient game. You don't get instant value. While with Artemis, you get pretty fast those divine damage archers, and you instantly get value using the earthquake. That's why I believe Artemis is like a little bit of a better option than Hephaestus. So when playing Zeus, I don't think you will ever see Hephaestus, at least for now. Maybe if patch changes come, maybe we will see Hephaestus more. But for now, Hephaestus is pretty low, because those upgrades are still kinda expensive, even when you get Forge of Olympus. Plentyvault is still very expensive to recast, and also Colossus is very expensive as well on favor. Colossus costs way too much favor at the moment. Yeah, and continuing, I would then like to put maybe I'm around. Okay, I'm between Balder and Hel after Hephaestus. Kinda harder to decide, but I think it should be Hel. It depends actually. It varies. It depends. If you're against civilizations that kinda struggle against myth units in the late game, such as Greek and Atlanteans, I think Hel is better. But if you're playing against civilizations such as Egyptians, then Balder is better, because you get those strong Sons of Sleipnir raiding cavalry that can beat chariot archers, and you get some stronger arms that can deal better with buildings. But I think it's pretty close. Hel and Balder, maybe Balder should go first. Yes, I think Balder should go first, just because of the raiding cavalry. The only thing Hel can offer is myth units. The only thing. But Balder offers rams, and strong rams and strong raiding cavalry. So I think Balder deserves to be higher than Hel. And at last, on the C tier, I would like to put Hecate. I don't think Hecate is that bad. Again, Hecate only offers myth units, basically. Myth unit tech, unique myth unit tech, can work for your Titan 100%. You can go for it if you want to play mass myth units and Titans. You can go for Hecate, but at the moment, Implode just outclasses Hecate. And I think we would only see Hecate at the moment when playing Uranus, because Uranus doesn't have access to Atlas here. So, and the worst god in my opinion, the worst minor Mythic Age god in my opinion is Helios. And here's why. Because Helios doesn't really make any of your units stronger, no unique tech for your units, only for your siege units. Only your siege units get tech from Helios that are not even that useful. You don't really play the siege late game when playing Atlanteans, and sometimes you prioritize like destroyers and fanatics to win fights and push. You don't go for too many siege units. And actually Atlas has stronger fanatics, way stronger fanatics and way stronger destroyers to play with. So that's why Atlas is so much better than Helios at the moment. One reason for you to go Helios is probably because you're playing Uranus and you don't have access to Atlas, as well as using maybe your Mythic Age God power, like teleporting your army, the instant teleport basically. And I still believe Hecate is just a tiny bit better than Helios at the moment. We will see more of Hecate once Atlas is nerfed, that's for sure. Because Tartarian Gate is pretty decent in my opinion. It's not a bad god power at all. It's just again that okay, a Tartarian Gate will harass your economy and kill a couple of villages and maybe a few buildings. But Atlas, the Implode would destroy an entire army. So yeah, that's a big difference over there. So this was overall, this was the video. Feel free to let me know in the comments your opinions, and if you have any ideas in general, feel free to talk in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next tier list video.